Good day and welcome to this video lectures about electrical. In this video lecture, I will discuss about how electricity works. So let's start. In this video, we are going to discuss how electricity works. So let's start with the basic, and for that we look first of what an atom is. Atoms are defined as the basic building blocks of matter. Atom is the basic of all matter. They are very small and consist of even tinier particles. We can say that everything, including us, are made from atoms. All the materials we use are made from atoms. The materials are just different because the construction of their atoms are slightly different. The atoms are made from three particles, two of which are found inside the nucleus. In the nucleus, we have the neutrons which have no charge, and we have also the protons which are positively charged. The neutrons and the protons are much heavier than the electrons, so these stay within the nucleus. Surrounding the nucleus are different layers of orbital shells. The electrons orbits around the nucleus in different orbital shells and travels at the speed of light. The electrons are negatively charged and they are attracted to the positive charge of the protons. That's why some of the electrons that is nearest to the nucleus will remain or stay in its orbital shell. But in the outermost shell, where the free electrons or the valence electrons are orbiting, may be dislodged in each shell if it is attracted by a positively charged atoms. The electrons orbits around the nucleus, and there are set of numbers of how many electrons can be in each orbital shell. All materials have different properties and characteristics. For example, the atoms of copper has the atomic number of 29 and have molecular weight of 63.55. The atomic number also tells us the number of protons inside the nucleus, which is 29, and have 36 neutrons. The 29 electrons orbits around the nucleus. In the nucleus, the protons and the neutrons are bonded together. There are 4 orbital shells, and each shell has a set of number of electrons that orbits around the nucleus. In the first shell, there are 2 electrons orbits around the nucleus. In the second shell, there are 8 electrons orbits around the nucleus. In the third shell, there are 18 electrons orbits around the nucleus. And in the fourth shell, which is called as the outermost shell, or it is also called as the valence shell, only 1 electron is orbiting around the nucleus. These valence electrons or free electrons may loosely bound in its own atoms if positively charged atoms attracted these free electrons. Atoms hold on to their electrons very tightly, but in the outermost shell, 1 electron is loosely bound to its atoms, which can flow or be attracted to other atoms nearby. When an atom loses negatively charged electrons, the atom becomes positively charged. In general, materials that have an atoms that pass some electrons are called conductors, like copper, silver, and aluminum. On the other hand, some materials that have an atom without free electrons are called as insulator, like rubber, glass, plastic, etc. Now the metals like copper with free electrons in its atoms are considered as good conductors. And some materials without free electrons are considered as insulators like rubber or plastic. Now the conductor and insulators are now combined as one materials, and this is called as electrical wire or conductor, to safely use in the electrical circuits by having the conductor in the center, which allow electrons to move but surround this with an insulator to restrict where they can flow to and which keep us safe. Now let's talk how the electrons move inside the conductor like copper. Inside the slice of copper conductor, there are millions of atoms with protons and neutrons inside the nucleus, and also have electrons orbiting around the nucleus. The free electrons, which are positioned in the outermost shell, are orbiting around the nucleus, which travels at the speed of light. These free electrons are able to move to other atoms in any direction. If we then connect the slice of copper conductor to a closed circuit with a power source such as battery, then the voltage will force the electrons to move, and these electrons will flow in the same direction from the negative terminal of the battery, then flow back to the positive terminal of the battery. So we can insert a kind of thing into the path of electrons flow, like light bulb. So the electrons will also flow into the light bulb that make it glow and will also produce heat. The flow of electrons will continue as soon as the battery has stored energy. If the battery is a rechargeable battery, its lost energy will be revived by connecting a charger to the battery, and so it will be used again to provide power to the circuit. That's the end of this lecture. Thank you.